Guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives, back for a CD vinyl update. Actually, kind of a long overdue CD vinyl update. It's been at least 5 or 6 weeks. Got a few things piling up here. Still no Hell Ripper. It's on its way. There was some problems with Royal Mail. I believe they got hacked or something to that extent. So I will remain as impatient as I ever am with stuff like this. I have absolutely heard the new Hell Ripper album, probably in the neighborhood of 30 times plus, without exaggerating. Fantastic album, but I'm going to save all my thoughts for a dedicated video just for that. Show you the things that I've ordered pertaining to Warlock's Grim and Withered Hags, the new Hell Ripper album. Absolutely awesome album. But in the meantime, I got a few things piling up here. Today, you're probably going to see a couple of, let's say, the unusual suspects. A couple things that is not the norm for me or what you've seen on my channel. But I always, like I said, I always want to discover new things. Some of it latches on, some of it doesn't. But, as far as doom metal or death doom, not something you'd normally see on this channel. And for whatever reason, it took me this long to pick up this album, and I do feel bad about this because this album is from a good friend and his band, and that is Mark G with a C. Excuse me. This is their album from last year. This is Enchantment, Cold Soul Embrace. Like I said, I finally pulled the trigger on this. I absolutely have no excuse for dragging my ass on this one because Mark is a good friend and have known him for quite a while. And of course, I want to support him. And I'll say, you know what? I am super proud of him and his band. This is something I never ever got to do. I wasn't in a band. I never got to make an album or anything like that. But you know what? I know some people that have got to do that. And like I said, makes me proud too. All right, here's the back cover. And there is Mark G with a C. And yeah, he is as guilty as ever. Excuse me. I'm gonna a little bit in the throat. We had a massive snowstorm, so I've been out all day shoveling. And anyways, that's besides the point. Back to Mark G with a C. He has been responsible for getting me, as he likes to call it, turning me to the dark side. Prior to 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't know, wasn't into a load of death metal, anything like that. So he's really kind of taken my hand and guided me down that dark path. But I'm going to leave a link to Mark's channel. If you ever want to go discover some bands that I've personally never heard of, he's old school death metal is his specialty. You're going to learn a lot. If you want to take a turn to the dark side, go check out Mark's channel. And he shows some, stuff more in my, wheelhouse too. But anyways, this album is, personally, it's not what I expected to hear. It's actually a fantastic album. And it's really grown on me. I've had about, I would say 4 full listens of this album. And let me just show you here. Absolutely love the cover, first of all. Very cool cover. There's the back cover, which I showed you. This is kind of like a matte finish. It's out on Cosmic Key Creations. They've done a fantastic job on here. And there's that front cover model again. But yeah, my favorite track was the lead-off single, is As Greed as the Eye Beholds. Fantastic song. And then another one of my favorites is Of Glorious Vistas Forgot. So check out those 2 tracks, or just check out that album, period. And here is our very own Mark G with a C right here. And all his bandmates, they've done a great job on this. I absolutely, just surprised at how much I like it for a genre that I know very little about. But it goes to show you don't shut the door on things like this. But great inner, actually just thick card paper, black vinyl on with a nice anti-static sleeve. And there is the center ring on that. And excuse me, the B-side. There it is. So yeah, totally stoked to get this. And like I said, Mark, sorry for taking so long. And Mark was so kind, because he is a good dude, that is for sure. He goes, you order that album and I'm going to throw the t-shirt in for free, which I wore on my last video. I should have wore it for this video, but here it is, Enchantment. And this is actually, Mark, a shirt that my wife will, let me wear on date night without too much fuss. It's a lot more tamer than an obituary shirt or something like that, which we'll check out some obituary actually in this video. But thanks again, Mark. Totally appreciate it. And don't forget to go check out Mark's channel. I will leave a link in the description. All right, where are we going to go next? All right, it's always story time with me. About 6 weeks, no, you know what? Actually, it was more like about 2.5 months ago. Metal Blade, I'm subscribed to Metal Blade, so you get those videos, you get whatever. Up pops this thing, test pressing. We're very excited. We can't wait to show you what we've been doing. They didn't name any bands or anything that. And then they kind of left, what would you like to see type of thing. So I commented and I said, well, there's 3 I want to see right away. And that is Liege Lord, Burn to My Touch, Liege Lord, Master Control, and Death Symbolic. So not even 3 weeks later, up pops a pre-order for those 2 Liege Lord albums, and I was all over those, which is, we'll start off with 1987's Burn to My Touch. I've actually wanted these 2 albums, and still on the lookout for their first album. This is a band that, only has 3 albums. They didn't get a lot of notoriety out there. And they're actually, they should have been bigger. I wouldn't say massive or anything like that, but this is some really good stuff. So this is their second album from 1987 called Burn to My Touch. This is with their original vocalist, Andy Michaud. The rest of the band continued on to the next album I'm going to show you with a new singer, and we'll talk about him here shortly. So this is just in that US power metal vein. You think of Liege Lord, you think of, I don't know, maybe bands like earlier Hellstar, Omen, stuff like that. I enjoy that. I kind of throw these guys in with yeah, exactly. Those bands would come to mind first. So great album. Let me show you which one I got. I got the orange, red, white marble vinyl. So this is a 35th anniversary reissue. So technically, I guess this one would be 36 years, whatever. They kind of lump these 2 together. Metal Blade, one of my favorite labels. They always do a great job. Let's show you. So there is a poster of this cover, but I'm not going to fold out the whole thing right now just for sake of time. So there is a full-blown poster of this album cover. But actually a couple tracks. Check out the first Transgressor and the Maniac's Mask. Couple of my favorites. Speed of Sound, that's the last track. Yeah, just good. Just metal, really. But here's a cool inner sleeve that came with it, and lyrics. Yeah, I couldn't pick up, I could not pull the trigger fast enough on these 2. They've been on my list for, originals would be super hard to find, but they've been on my list for quite a few years. And here is that orange, red, white vinyl, which I pre-ordered from, where did I get this? Not the indie merch, but Kings Road. Actually, it came from Kings Road merch. Always do a good job, great packaging, stuff like that. And like I said, you usually can't go wrong with Metal Blade reissues. And I also, actually, you know what? Get ready to pause this quick. So this one came with a download. So I'm going to flip this over. First come, first serve. Grab, pause this. There is the code. Go to metalblade/bandcamp.com, or actually metalbladebandcamp.com/yum. But you can check that again. There it is. So there's a download card. I don't need it, so go check it out. And this is the one I was really after. This is where they changed singers. This one features Joe Como, which on one of my other videos I failed to mention that Joe was in Overkill for 3 studio albums and a cover album as a second guitar player. Definitely did some backing vocals, on The Killing Kind, From the Underground and Below, Necro Shine, and then the covers album Cover Kill. But here is Master Control. This one is even more, definitely still in the US power metal category, but leaning to, like, got some Priest vibes on here for sure. There is Joe right here with a full head of hair. The other 4 band members are the exact same guys that appear on Burn to My Touch. So this is a 1988 release, their final release to date. I'm not sure if this would be even a band that's going in any capacity. I don't know that, but also a full poster of this album cover, which I'll just set aside, but looks just like that, but only bigger. Love this album. If you only check out one track from this album, check out my favorite track called Feel the Blade. Absolutely awesome track. Fear Itself, that one leads off the album. Great. Eye of the Storm. There's a cover of Kill the King on here. Yeah, and Broken Wasteland. Great song. Actually, Rapture too. It's just solid top to bottom. This is if you're into the US power metal, or you like things like Priest and Maiden, and which most of us do, definitely give this thing a shot. And I will give you a chance to give that a shot right now with this code. So here's this, and then you guys, somebody can grab this, and if I'm not blocking anything here, there's the code for that one. Go for it. Check it out. Let me know what you think. So this one came on a blue-white marbled vinyl. Right there is the hype sticker, lyrics, band shot, and as far as vocals go, also Joe Como appears on, or sings on, 2 Annihilator albums. If you know Annihilator out of Canada, he is on Waking the Fury and Carnival of Diablos, which we're still waiting to hear some news about Annihilator reissues. But Joe's got a great voice, especially, man, this one's, this one's more in the perfect metal style vocals, whereas those couple of Annihilator, kind of a mixed bag. He even does some like really fast, thrashy stuff, and even some AC/DC type vibe songs on those Annihilator albums, but they're worth checking out too. So we showed you that, and let's show you this blue-white marbled vinyl. Looks like that. So it's just kind of got that white and even looks like a little bit of white and black marbling in there. Both got your classic Metal Blade logo right there, and same on both sides. Yeah, so whoever gets that code, or if you know the album, let me know in the comments. Are you happy with these reissues? Because I sure am. And hopefully they've listened to my third request, Death Symbolic, which is, I have no idea why they wouldn't reissue it. I know Metal Blades that's the only one of the 7 that Metal Blade controls the rights to, and it would sell like crazy. CD, vinyl, cassette version. I know probably 20 people that would be willing to pick that up in a heartbeat. So where are we going to go with? We'll go with next, and I did drop something here. We'll get that. I got another code to give away here when I show you this album. Let's go with this one. So here's a band that I have never really checked out. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I probably did about a year ago, and then just kind of like, I don't know about this. But when this album came out, I definitely did not buy it brand new, but I thought, you know what, this might be more up my alley, because it would be their second album they've ever done in full English. So I'm talking about Anthem, Japanese band, Japanese metal band. Anthem, and this album is called Nucleus. Now, I first discovered or heard anything about Anthem through Razor Fist channel, the Metal Mythos, which is fantastic. I mean, that guy is, frick, he is top notch. I just love those Metal Mythos videos. I could watch those over and over. But anyways, that's when I first heard. And then there's another really cool YouTuber out there, Bryce Talks Metal. He speaks very highly of Anthem also. So this would still be their second album they've ever done in English. They have like 20 studio albums. There is an album from the year 2000 that they actually did with Graham Bonnet on vocals called Heavy Metal Anthem. And that was their first album that they did entirely in English. So not that I didn't like the other stuff I sampled before, but it was actually a mixture of Japanese and English lyrics all together. And I got nothing against anybody singing in their native language, but it just didn't grab me at the time. But then when I watched that Metal Mythos video another time, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this, because this thing is fantastic. What it is Nucleus, and it's kind of a, strategic title, because what they've done is they took, I forget how many tracks are on here. I think 13 of their tracks from those various 20 albums, and they've redone them, and all the lyrics are translated into English. So that would be a job in itself, because just because it's different meanings, not necessarily meanings, but the way words are formed and used, that would definitely be a chore in itself. But this thing is absolutely great. Released Nuclear Blast 2019. Gatefold. I'm going to show you this whole thing. But if you like bands like, I'm sure, if you're watching this video, you've heard of bands like Loudness. I do like, there's probably about 5 Loudness albums that I really enjoy. And but I thought, you know what, I'm going to try some more Japanese metal. These are kind of like the Japanese Judas Priest, some people have said. But Anthem's awesome. Here is the band. Been together for, a couple of the members have been here since the beginning. They've only really had 2 main vocalists besides the couple appearances from Graham Bonnet. So good lineup, and check out the tracks. For sure, if you only check out one track, go check out the track Venom Strike. Like I said, these are all redone tracks from various points in their career, various albums. I think they're doing the right thing now. It really is kind of a reintroduction to, fans that have never heard them. And now this year, 2023, they have a brand new album coming out. I did write it down so I wouldn't forget. It's called Crimson and Jet Black. It is coming out April. Pre-orders are up for that. First single was called Wheels of Fire. Go check that out. And the second single is called Snake Eyes. So I am personally looking forward to their new album. Like I said, Crimson and Jet Black it's called. So go check out some Anthem if you really good Japanese metal, and just top-notch musicians. So this one came with just a little lyrical. All the lyrics are here. And that's it with that. So like I said, they're all English lyrics. This is a double vinyl Nuclear Blast release, black vinyl. And I'll just show you one, but there's a band member on all the centering. So we'll just show you 2 of the band members. Other vinyl is exactly the same. So their new album is coming out, like I said, April, but it is coming out via Reaper Entertainment. The latest release I got from Reaper is the new Tankard album. So quality label, quality packaging, and definitely check out some Anthem if you have not already. I'm just going to have a quick shot and we'll move on here. Yeah, let's go with here's a band, and earlier in the video I mentioned some, I wasn't really into all this death metal, but I am all in with this band, and finally picked up a couple of missing pieces to my Obituary collection. Got their 6th and 7th album finally on CD. I think there is vinyl versions on Candlelight Records of these two, or could be Back on Black. I'm not sure. They're very hard to find. Hope they do get reissues, but this is 2007's Executioner's Return. This is kind of a cool little deal. It's kind of a little clamshell box with the CD in a digipack form. So I did not have these two Obituary albums, and I don't think they're, I don't know if they're in the bottom of the pile. I'm definitely, now that I have all the Obituary albums, I'm going to do a ranking of all, 10 of their studio albums. I'll do that in a month or two. Definitely on my list. And this little clamshell box also came with a full, like a half-size poster of the album cover. And what else? And a band shot on the back. So that is Executioner's Song. So both these albums, this one and the one I'm going to show you, feature Ralph Santola. Rest in peace on guitars. And I think, is Frank Watkins on here also? I forget. But the second one came in, actually it comes in a slipcase. This is Darkest Day. Is that, not Darkest Days, but Darkest Day. So this would be their 7th studio album. So 2 albums on Candlelight Records, and then they left and been on Relapse Records ever since. From what I've read, it wasn't a really they did not have a great relationship with Candlelight Records, and finally got out or whatever. But and also the new Obituary album that came out this year. Now drawing a blank what it's called, but obviously you'll remember it. Let me know in the comments. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'm just like I said, you turn the camera on and you just draw a blank. But so these are the 2 Obituary albums that I did not own. And let's check this out. Yeah, we have, this was going to check if the lineup, because I don't know if Terry Butler was on this album. Yeah, Donald Tardy. And let's check that out. Yeah, Ralph Santola. Yeah, Frank Watkins. Now, he has since passed too. Rest in peace, Frank. But these albums are actually, they're pretty good. Like I said, we'll save that for an Obituary ranking. I've listened to these. I actually know these albums pretty good now. Not as good as Dying for Everything. There you go. Brain Fart came back. And I also picked up this for the vinyl collection, Obituary. This is 10,000 Ways to Die. So this is a live album. I'll just read you the hype sticker. It is an incredible live set of 12 classics and fan favorites from the band's storied catalog, recorded during their 2016 world tour. So basically the whole set list, and the title, actually, the title of this album comes from their 2017 album. This was actually released in 2018, but recorded prior to 2017. I think most of this was recorded, like this said, 2016. So, but the title of the album is a track from their self-titled album from 2017, just entitled Obituary. Great album, by the way. But this one's got all your favorites. If you're an Obituary fan, you got Redneck Stomp, Intoxicated, Blood-Soaked Dying, great song, Finally Arise, classic, Don't Care, Chopped in Half, one of my personal favorites, Turned Inside Out. So each song is from a various city. We got Tampa, Florida, Phoenix, San Diego, New York. Looks like all US dates, but this one came on, I'm pretty sure it's just black vinyl. And if you've never heard live Obituary, these guys are, it sounds like they're in the studio. There's another album I have from them too called, if you ever get a chance, check out this one. It's called Dead. This is a great live obituary album too, if you've never heard this one. Great track listing on that one too. So this, there is the one side of that, and then you got the band shot right here, which is, yeah, this is their current lineup. Kenny Andrews on guitar also, and Terry Butler on bass, and of course the Tardy Brothers, and the riff master Trevor Perez, and black vinyl. So like I said, I've been kind of went all in with these guys. These guys are my favorite death metal band overall. Still active death metal band, I should say, because I love death also. But here's the center ring on that, and same on that side. So that's just a one disc set. And I showed you those other two from Obituary, and that one actually came with a download code. Redeem at relapserecords.bandcamp.com/yum. Here it is. Here's the code for 10,000 Ways to Die. If that'll focus for you, or you can pause that and blow it up or whatever, but go check that one out from Obituary. What do we got left here? We got, all right, 3 more, and this is, like I said earlier in the video, you're going to see some unusual suspects. My good friend Metal Mickey from time to time will send me a song, or check this out, check that out. A lot of the times I'm just like, nah, no, that's not me. But this time, you know what, I kind of sloughed this one off originally, and then I went back and I'm like, you know what, I need to give this some time and not just jump to conclusions. But I've been into these 2 albums. I almost know them like the back of my hand by now. I've listened to these 2 albums so much, and it's not normal. It's not your everyday stuff you're going to see on this channel, but been listening to some Cattle Decapitation, or as the cool kids say, Cattle Decap. You know what, to be honest with you, the name to begin with, it was just like, what? But man, these guys are just, I would say, yeah, they're on another level. Musicianship wise, I'm totally impressed. I'll talk a little bit more about this, but I am not, like I told you before, I wasn't huge into the death metal. I'm definitely not into the black metal or those, you know, pig squeal type of vocals, whatever you want to call them. They're not me. I'm not into that type of band. But when you have a band that does a little bit of everything, this is the band. The current Cattle Decapitation, because their first, I don't know if you count their first 2 albums and then what comes after, I'm really not interested in that, and it probably won't be, but I'm definitely interested. This thing came out in 2019, and if I was into this album as much as I am now in 2019, you would have seen this very close to the top of my favorite albums for 2019, which 2019 was, what was it? Possessed, I think, was my favorite album from 2019. Yeah, yes, it was. But fantastic album. This is a mixture of vocal-wise. This guy, Travis Ryan, he is a chameleon of vocals. He's just death metal, black metal. There's some clean vocals in here. There's some almost spoken stuff. There is some of that, what I said, that kind of that type of stuff, which, you know what, in the context of this, I'm okay with. But something that was just pure, that type of vocal, I'm not into that. And his highs, which is this album and about the other one I'll show you, and one more prior to that, about 2012, they really brought this on, more evident in this album than the one I'll show you. But it's almost a mixture. I told Mike that it was a mixture of Mike Howe and David Wayne on, I don't know what I said. I don't think I said on crack or anything like that, but I said that's what it reminds me of, especially more to the Mike Howe. But this guy, Travis Ryan, does an amazing job on those, on the highs, which I really, really enjoy him. But anyways, so you might be surprised to see this on my channel, but this is top notch. They actually have a new album coming out in May called Terracite. I would say look out for them. They're kind of reached that next plateau, and I could see that album Terracite being on a lot of top metal lists for the year. You know, you got stations like Banger TV, stuff like that. Absolutely. Here's the inner sleeve for that. So they're on Metal Blade Records. They have been on Metal Blade here for the past quite a few albums. They've reissued some of their earlier work, but yeah, album is Death Atlas, 2-disc set from 2019. Both the same black vinyl, all the center rings are the same. And the first song that Mike actually sent me, Metal Mickey, which I will leave a link to his channel too, because he deserves some credit for this, because yeah, it's one of those where he probably thought, oh no, shit, he's going to give up on this really quick. I'm glad I didn't. The first song I think he sent me was either Bring Back the Plague or One Day Closer to the End of the World. Both top-notch songs. This is infused with a little grindcore too, which grindcore is generally out of my comfort zone for the most part, but mixed in with all these different, like I said, even the black metal vocals, you got to kind of take it as a, you know, it's just part of the experience of listening to all these different vocals. At first, like I said, I don't know if I said it, but it was like listening to, you know, 5 different people on one album, or 5 different vocalists, but it's actually only one person. So a couple other my favorites on here, Finish Them, great track, and the closing track, the title track, Death Atlas, 9 minutes of just awesomeness. And here is the gatefold. And this one did come with a download, which we're going to hold that one up. So this is Death Atlas. So if you want to check out some cattle decap, here you go. And here's the code for that. If you want to pause that, check that out. And I also picked up, actually this one was sent to me by a good friend of mine who, when I get excited about a band like this, he actually gets excited and he says, no, I'm getting you that album. I found a copy, I'm sending to you. Thank you, brother. But here is the 2015 release from Cattle Decapitation called The Anthropocene Extinction. And if you read up on these guys, they're, you know, a couple of the guys are vegans in this band, things like that, you know, probably a lot to do with their name. And I wasn't always big on these names that you can't decipher shit, like you don't know even know what the band logo is, but this one isn't that bad. So, but this one, between this one and Death Atlas, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put this one up just a wee notch. I know Death Atlas is fantastic, but this is just, this one just blows me away. This is, check out the tracks. I think Manufactured Extinct was the first single off of this one back when it came out. The Prophets of Loss, great track. That one actually features some spoken word from Phil Anselmo. Clandestine Ways, great track. Circo Inhumanitas, great track. Some crazy names, I know, but this thing is just, when he hits those highs, those eerie slash Mike Howe, David Wayne stuff, that's how I compare it to. I'm old, so just killer. Check out the track Not Suitable for Life. There is just some top-notch vocals and guitar work in here. Their guitar player, Josh Elmore, is just fantastic. Their drummer, his name is, I forget what his name is, David McGraw. He's on another level. Yeah, David McGraw on drums. He is probably one of the best drummers I've ever heard, to be honest with you. And you know what? Anything that starts off with a blast beat and a scream, I used to just run away from that type of stuff. But now I'm embracing it. I'm glad I'm, you know, here I am, you know, turning 55 years old this year, and still, you know what? I'm still learning and enjoying some new music. So this one was a single vinyl set, Metal Blade Records. This is an original pressing from 2015. Not that that's that long ago, but something from 2015 actually is already hard to get. This one did not come with a download code, so sorry about that one. Yeah, so pretty, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but still, I guess I shouldn't be shutting doors on stuff that I jump to too quick of conclusions sometimes. So anyways, glad to check that out. And I'm actually, at this point, I am really looking forward to their new album called Terracite, the first single. They Weed Are Young, I think it's called, already released. I enjoyed it, but it doesn't have those high vocals that I've been talking about. So hoping on the next single and a bunch of the other tracks on the new album that those high vocals are in there. If you do scope it out and check out some Cattle Decapitation, you'll know exactly what I mean, and you might enjoy those too. So we're going to wrap this one up today with an album that I've been waiting for a long time. It's taken, well, actually, it's taken 34 years, I think, for this album. So if you remember me or any of other people showing these couple of albums from a Canadian band called Sword, called Metalized and Sweet Dreams, classics. These are from 1986, and that is from 1988. If you have not heard these two, go and check them out. I promise you. And I would throw these guys in the category of, right in that Omen, Lizzie Borden, Wasp. Lots of bands come to mind with these guys, actually, because I always said this guitar, or I forget which, Metalized kind of has a Chris Holmes type of guitar tone in a few of the songs. But anyways, finally, 34 years later, Sword 3 comes out. It actually was released in November of 2022. This little corner and this little bit, it's actually a little bit of wear and tear that they put right into the cover to make it look a little older than it is. It's yeah, finally, after 34 years, their new album released, Massacre Records. So I would say, or what I've read and what I've heard on interviews, these are all the tracks are basically leftovers from back in the day. These guys finally got back together. I would say the only thing on here, the vocals, obviously 34 years later, what's his name on vocals? I can't remember his first name, but anyways, he's lost a bit of the range, things like that, but still a solid album. And I won't lie to you, it is not as good as Metalized, and it's not as good as Sweet Dreams, but it is a good album, and it's kind of cool, that a band still has that fire in them to go out after and do an album like this. Most of the, like I said, most of the material is already ready to go, so just go in and crank it out. Go check out the first single, was called I Am in Command. And then what else do we have? Dirty Pig, I think, was the second track. And another track to check out, Unleashing Hell. This one, what did it come out on? Blue vinyl. And actually, Massacre Records come out. They've had some great reissues lately, and really good label too. So this one came out on just a kind of a, just blue vinyl, kind of a lighter blue vinyl. And the centering's same on both sides, but that's it. We went on a long time, but a lot to show you, a lot to talk about. Always like hearing from you in the comments. Let me know about some of these albums, but yeah, until next time, stay heavy.